What's up, people? Orsicourse here, coming at you with another Paragon deck build. Today we're going to be taking a look at Muriel after the patch. You know, we got universal cards now and all that, so I changed up her deck a little bit. I should rephrase that. We have different universal cards with some better effects. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'll let you decide what you think about the deck. So for this build, I play heavy support. So I go with the Centurion, a 500 health, 100% damage bonus. I'm not really big on dealing damage with this build. Although, of course, the title says power deck. That is an old title. Now, as we get down to the consumables, I filled them up pretty well here. I have the Hunter Strength, the Shaman Strength, Mender's Vial, Shepherd's Vial, Strike Token, and a Scout Ward. Now, what I usually start out with, because if all works well, I'll be laning with a carry. So I start with the Mender's Vow and the Shepherd's Vow, then a Scout's Ward. I like this because it gives me mana, and this one gives me health, but it also gives my whoever's nearby the benefit as well. So the Shepherd's Vow is the one that I really like because it gives me mana back, but it also gives 6 health regen to nearby allies for 7 seconds. So it's almost like a little mini health potion for my carry. So it helps us both stay in lane a little bit. Gives him technically 4 potions or 4 charges. So I like keeping that on hand when I'm laning with somebody. Now, as the game goes on, these will not be as viable, so I swap them out with the Hunter Strength and the Shaman Strength because they'll start to give me much more mana, much more health, and that will be more useful than this little bit from the vows. Strike Token, I just put that in there just in case I do want to do a little extra damage. I usually don't use it though. And Scout's Ward, I keep a Scout's Ward in every deck just about because you want to have that vision. Hopefully, if your carry knows what they're doing, they're also keeping a ward. But you can argue that maybe you don't need both of you to have wards if you want your carry to go more damage. But I like to run 2 wards. That's just me. Now, as we get down here to the deck proper, I'm going to go over some of my 3 throwaways really quickly, and then we're going to go over the deck proper. Now, my throwaways, I might not use them all, like the Quartz Blades and the Celestine Diamond. I might not even equip those. It depends on how the game is running. But the card that I always equip is the Circlet of Health. So I started with this one early on. And this one gives you 30 mana, and I like the passive. Unique Aura grants 2.8 health regen to yourself and nearby allies. I like that because it really helps you sustain in lane. You and your carry. It's like having a health potion going all the time. So I like having that on hand, and you pair that with the vendor or with the Shepherd's Vow, you have a lot of health regen for your carry and for yourself. So I like keeping this card early game. Now, the Celestine Diamond, this card gives you 6 power, 0.3 mana regen, and 30 mana. 30 mana once you fully upgrade it. And then I equipped it with all basic mana. I'll build this card if I think I need some more mana. Usually I can skip it though. Quartz Blade is the same thing. 6 power, 0.3 mana, 50 health, and then 6 power. And I build it with 0.3 mana regen. Build this card if you think you need it, but usually what I'll do, I'll build my Circlet of Health first, and then I go straight into my deck proper. Now, if for some reason you think you need your ward early on, you can equip it and then not upgrade it until later game. Usually I equip my wards with all lesser cards, but the way this deck is shaping out, I made it a huge 12-point card. Now, like I said, equip your ward whenever you think it's necessary, but I wouldn't fully upgrade it until the end. Now, the card that I try to build first is the Quenching Scales. Now, this card, I actually really like this. I didn't think it was going to be that viable, but as I started playing with it, it's actually pretty good. So listen here, it gives you 50 health, 0.3 mana regen, and a unique passive, it grants you 0.6 mana regen. So it basically gives you 0.9 mana regen right there. And I equipped it with all basic sparks, giving me another 0.9 once you get it all up. And here's what I really like. The team heal. Heal yourself and nearby allies for 225 health and grants 21 basic armor for 20 seconds. Now, you can only use it every 20 seconds, but I still think that's pretty good. I didn't think 225 health was going to be a big deal, but I had forgotten that health was severely nerfed. This isn't Legacy anymore, where you can have 5,000 health easily. In game, as a carry, what, you might have 1,400 health, and I'm ballparking right now. But even at end game, the 225 was still pretty good, especially when I paired it up with Honor of the Pure. It basically gave me like an extra 800 health, so which is a hit from Murdoch critting, depending on how you build. So Quenching Scale actually worked out pretty well. Now if you can get this on early game, that 225 health is devastating, because if you get it up, let's say when your carry has 800 health and you give your carry back 225 health in a team fight or in a fight at all, your team, you give them 225 health back, that's going to change a team fight drastically, that health back, or at least it did for me. I really saw that making a difference, especially when it was paired with Honor of the Pure. So let's go over Honor of the Pure next. Now this card I built a little bit later. This one gives you 50 health, 30 mana, and then what I like about this one is the team shield. So you consume 100 mana to shield yourself and nearby allies for 3 seconds, absorbing 125 plus 25 times player level. So once you're max build, you're basically, or once you're max level, you're basically shielding your yourself and your team for 500. Now I like this paired up with that other one because it gives you the shield, it gives you the health on top of your shields already, especially you can catch a lot of your people at once, or at least maybe your carry. That's probably the most important person in a team fight. You can stack a lot of health and make them very hard to kill, because in a game where the time to kill is so high now, if you keep your carry alive for an extra 3 seconds, that can change the whole flow of the fight. Because 3 seconds, especially if there's like a countess on your team, they can burst down somebody so quickly. So I've been having great success with that combo there. I equipped this card with a health and 2 manas, so 100 health and then 2 mana, or 60 mana a piece. The next card I usually build is, well, actually I didn't go in order. So Quenching Scales first, Honor of the Pure will be later game once you actually level up a bit. Tempest Pearl is usually one that I build second here after Quenching Scales. So this card gives you 6 power, 4 ability armor, and it grants 100 movement speed to nearby allies for 3 seconds. I like this card because that 100 movement speed, while it isn't anything devastating in a game, and while the game is the way it is now with the movement speed being so high, an extra 100, you won't be caught unless the person has some type of snare. So if it's like Chimera or something, then yeah. But if it's Greystone, you're free. If it's Quang, if he misses his snare, you're free. You know, it depends on who you're fighting against. But this right here can save your life. It can save your carry's life. So I keep this, and I equipped it with 3 minor barriers. So it gives me a little bit of armor, and more importantly, gives me that escapability. Now, as we get down here, depending on what level I am, I might build Honor of the Pure now, or if I think I need it, I'll go with the Divine Shield. And I won't equip this with anything actually. I'll just take it as an 8-point card and leave it like that. Now this card gives you 60 mana, 4 ability pin, and it blocks the next enemy spell. Now I like this because I wasn't sure how it was going to work until I actually tried it in the game. But especially after I dive on somebody, since I don't knock them up anymore, I slow them. People are still able to attack like normal. They don't have that few seconds or that 0.2 whatever where they're in the air. But when I come out of that, usually I'm in front of my carrier or whoever I dive, and I eat that first spell that the person throws. So if it's the rocket, if it's countess, it's ult, anything like that, I was eating all that damage. Gadget's mine, or her sticky mine, all those things people were throwing at me, I was eating them. Now it does have a 45-second cooldown, and it only blocks 1 spell at a time, so it's not like you're going to block anything crazy, but it does make a difference, and it does make body blocking very good, because you can really suck up a lot of damage there on top of your shields, on top of your heal, on top of your Honor of the Pure. It's a very good combo, or at least it's been working for me. Now here's the thing about that though, I'm in silver/gold area. Like in the higher leagues, diamond, platinum, they're going to find ways around that easy peasy. So if you're in a lower elo, if you're playing with people who aren't as experienced, they're probably going to fall for this. If you're in a higher elo, you probably won't get away with it. You might get away with it once, kind of like a status gem, you know. Now the last card that I usually build here is the Toxic Gel, or Toxi Gel. Now this card gives you 100 health, and unique passive burst cleanse. Taking 400 damage within 5 seconds activates a cleanse. Now the reason I built this card so late is because health is not what it used to be, so you're not going to be having thousands amounts of health. So if you build this too early, 400 damage, that can be just about your whole life. You know. So I built this a little later game so that I can actually survive. I can actually use it. Once you have about 1200 1400 health, this card is actually viable. Getting out of stuns and all that good stuff is useful once you have some health. So I put this card up last, so if they do focus me, on top of all my shields, on top of my spell block, on top of all that, I'll be able to get out of stuns quicker, throw my shields up, stay in a fight, help my team. So altogether, this seems to work really well. Try it out, let me know what you think. This deck gives you a decent amount of mana, decent health pool, nothing crazy. I didn't go heavy on the health, but it gives you a lot of utility. It really helps keep your teammates alive. So I'm curious to see what you guys think though, because some people might think this is trash, because it does require you to be very focused, because you're going to be activating a lot of things, and it's easy to leave these things on cooldown. The Tempest Pearl, Honor of the Pure, Quenching Scales, because you just forget that they're even there. But as long as you're being focused and you're paying attention to the fights, I think you're going to be something that can't really be ignored, which is what you want, because they're going to have to make a choice. Do we get rid of that Muriel? Do we jump on that Murdoch? And that's what you want to do. You want to make hard decisions. You want them to try to focus you if it's between you and the carry, of course, because your carry is going to be doing so much damage, hopefully, if they're building correctly. And anyway, people, this is just a fun little deck I made. Let me know what you think. As always, if you like the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and make sure to share the video out. Maybe somebody else will find this deck interesting, and it helps me out a lot. As always, I appreciate you watching. It means a lot. We'll see you in the next video, people. Have a good one. Peace.